Many thousands of years ago, men and horses crossed paths. This gave birth to the advent of civilizations that conquered the world. These days, machines have almost wiped them out, but that's just an illusion. Because our planet in reality remains Planet of the Horses. In this classic Russian setting, I would like to tell you all about how horses work in cinema.
Today we are going to participate in a movie shoot, learn how to dye a horse any color you want,
What do you mean dye a horse?
and to learn real horseback riding stunts.
Are you okay?
The city of Tobolsk, a window to Siberia. In this endless landscape, horses were the only form of transportation until the very end of the 19th century. Although with their help, people transported many goods, fur, wood, ore, and minerals. Wait, there definitely weren't cell phones back then, not to mention video cameras.
You're always introducing me to various equestrian locations,
Uh-huh.
but today, I brought you to my favorite place, a filming location of a real feature film. Can you imagine?
Listen, I'm really scared.
Katya, the assistant to our expert Alexander, is an actress by training. And today we find ourselves in her environment. But actors on this location probably aren't the most important members of this movie shoot. They can't even take a single step without their four-hoofed co-stars.
This is Anastasia, the project's line producer, and she's in a very,
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
actually, the most important position.
Each four-legged actor has their own role. Some of them are supporting characters, while some perform main roles.
As an actress, I want to ask you about casting horses. Do horses have to audition, or do people just work with whatever horses they pick?
No, of course. We hold auditions for the horses. We had a horse master attached to the project who came to Tumen, to Tobolsk in December, and we visited all the stables together with him, and he selected our horses.
What about the stunt horses? Did you find them around the location or bring them from Moscow somehow?
No, they're not from Moscow. We had a team from Kazakhstan working on the project. The team works in Hollywood. Right now they're shooting footage in India where they have some big project. They worked on all the stunts in Viking.
Yeah. Tell me more about the stunt performers.
Well, there are a lot of stunts and the stunt actors. I was totally amazed by their work. I mean, it looks very dangerous to me as a lady. It seems like a big liability. And there were very difficult weather conditions. I mean, it was March. You see, they worked in the mud, spraying everywhere, and in addition to all that, they were performing stunts. They did both slips and falls.
And tell us, how did the actors do with the horses?
3 young actors.
And they all worked without any stunt doubles?
They all worked without stunt doubles. No stunt actors on their own. Absolutely, the stunts were complicated, so there were stunt doubles planned to work for those actors. The actors turned away the stunt performers and said, I will do it myself. I will on my own, yes. Of course, studied. If there was an occasional gap in the filming schedule, they came to the location. Their horse master trained them, taught them how to ride, and they rehearsed. Right here, they were interested on their own.
Without a doubt, the most famous Russian actor who still does all of his own horseback stunts is Mikhail Boyarsky. Famous for his role in The Three Musketeers, a movie that has remained popular with Russian audiences. But Hollywood masters also take the reins every so often. For example, the actor Viggo Mortensen, who played Aragorn in the Lord of the Rings movies. Like many people in his profession, he is excellent in the saddle. Don't believe me? Just watch the movie. It's a pity that the horse, who had become his acting partner, wasn't mentioned in the credits.
Well, I see my colleague.
And I see my colleague.
What an actress. An artist. How beautiful. May I? I just want to hug her. Oh, she's so calm. It shows. An actress.
Yes, an experienced actress.
She's ready to wait for years, for ages, waiting to be called into the picture. Yes, my beauty. Please note that the horse is, first of all, in costume. She's like a professional actress.
To me, she's harnessed, you know?
Yes,
Oh,
harnessed, but we're using
Right.
cinema terms
thank God. Thank God that she doesn't need makeup.
while we're talking to each other. Not your... Thank God I don't see any makeup on her.
Oh, come on. Looks like nothing has been done with her hair for quite a while.
It seems to me that I have a feeling
Yeah?
everyone
So they made her look wild on purpose.
has done something with her fur.
It's a wig, maybe. Let me see if I'll check. No, not a wig. That's all her own hair.
Look, such a just authentically made.
What an authentic set of makeup.
But it's no joke. Cinema is a great illusion. They can manipulate not only the dirt and flies, but even the color of a horse's coat. And that's what Lisa, the production designer who works on this film, is going to demonstrate.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi.
Lisa, she's an artist assistant. This is Alexander.
We are getting ready to the winter scenes, and Gagarin's carriage will be used there for the first time. I got a phone call requesting I dye a horse by 9 in the morning.
In what color?
What do you mean dye a horse?
What color did
Wait.
he have before?
It was a pair of horses pulling a carriage, and one horse, he was white with gray spots. He was closer to gray. And the second horse was white, and he didn't work for us. It needed to be like the picture.
They had to be the same.
They all had to be the same. Yeah, so I was up at 7 a.m. sharp thinking about all the details, how we can do it, and do it by 9 in the morning, because first of all, I was thinking the horses need to be safe, from the dye.
Uh-huh. And what did you use?
Once I realized it was impossible to find special dye for horses to exist, but within such a short time, I used Gasha.
Because it is safe, yeah?
Well, safe, yeah. Water-based, horses breathe through their skin, that's why any kind of reaction. It's very dangerous for them. It penetrates the skin immediately, and a glue-based watercolor like Gouache, it's pretty safe. I took a big paintbrush and mixed it up. I had to give her a gray hue.
But not all horses need to be recolored. On the contrary, if a horse has an unusual coat color, the director might give it a special role. Moreover, like in an ancient Greek tragedy, a male can get a female role.
Meet Beck, a Kabarda stallion. He came to us after shooting in Tsar, a very popular cult movie. That tells the story of the time in Russian history when Ivan the Terrible was in power. But Beck played, surprisingly, a horse, and played it very well. You see, he has a mark on his head which horsemen call a white muzzle. That's why he couldn't blend in with the crowd of the other horses who played Russian, Polish, or Tartar horses. He got a special task from the director. The main thing that the stunt actors taught him to do was laying down with the rider on his back and standing back up. But getting up and laying down from this position mimics dying in a battle. There is a star right here in our stables.
Horse actors that participate in film shoots on a regular basis are carefully prepared. They are taught not to be scared of loud sounds or cameras. But nonetheless, it's formally thought that they're a movie prop come alive. They don't get paid for their labor on location. But in some countries, for example in America, there is a Humane Animal Treatment Association specialist present on the lot. It's something like an equestrian trade union. But sometimes, horses have to perform menial tasks in addition to their acting duties.
They help move our props. That's our main prop. The cart's our main piece of scenery. That is, they pull the carts.
Uh-huh.
So they pull the carts.
We harness horses to the carts and put the props in them, and all the work's very nicely in the background.
Horses work on location strictly according to schedule, as people do. The shooting of battle scenes alternates with lunch breaks, although the four-legged actors nap not in their trailers, but rather right here, among the scenery, in the fresh air. Unfortunately, this equestrian profession is becoming a thing of the past.
Large group equestrian scenes have become an unattainable luxury. While shooting War and Peace, Sergei Bondarchuk needed a special division which was dubbed the Mosfilm Cavalry Regiment. Almost all the male actors studying at the Gerasimov Institute of Cinematography served their time on this staff. That's why Bondarchuk was invited to Europe for the shooting of Waterloo. But now that it's become so difficult to gather large numbers of real horses, production companies are using computer graphics more and more. It works well enough to just select a nice horse, digitize it into a proper format, and then the computer-animated horses will do whatever you need without any threat of injury to either the rider or the horse.
Next, we will learn how to fall off a horse and survive. And find out what cowboys like to do most of all.
For right now, I will just show you how to quickly equip a horse with the most popular piece of riding equipment, a snaffle, or bit-equipped bridle. To start, let's put the reins around her neck. Now, we can remove the headpiece, the piece a horse wears during its time off. Now we press our right hand onto the nape of the horse's neck and offer her the bit with our other hand. You can see how easily and willingly the horse takes it. If it causes any pain or unpleasant sensations, she won't do that, trust me. The iron crossbar remains behind the horse's teeth and doesn't cause any trauma or strong sensation. Now we run the nape strap behind the ears and buckle the chin strap under the chin. Now our horse is ready. To the left, to the right, left, right. Let's go.
It's good when stars perform all of their own stunts, but what if the actor playing the role of the intrepid hero is afraid of even approaching a horse? In these cases, stuntmen come to the rescue. How does this legendary profession work? And is it difficult to fall off a horse as if you were mowed down by a bullet on the first take? Falling over is one of the most common stunts in cinema. To execute this trick, a horse lays down, or rather, tumbles down on the ground onto its side. The Cossacks used this trick in real conditions of actual cavalry in battle since ancient times. Such a maneuver allowed a rider to hide behind their horse and lay down in the grass. A horseback rider is a big target, which is easily visible from afar. In the movies, it helps recreate the collapse of a soldier mown down by a bandit's or a white guard's bullet. Even for someone who sits in the saddle professionally, correctly falling with a horse can be quite a challenge. Our expert, Alexander, has been given a chance to learn this trick and did not pass on the opportunity. But horses don't like lying down for too long, a couple of minutes at most. So, as filmmakers readily admit, if you need to take a shot of a dead horse, a cameraman takes a still photo, which is then edited into the desired scene.
And it will lie in the computer for as long as you need.
And how would before they do that?
And you wouldn't want to know.
To teach even the simplest trick, faking a fall is not as simple as it seems. Laying down for no reason opposes the animal's natural instincts. That's why first you have to practice bowing, then rolling onto its side, and only then the trick itself. The most important thing is consistent training and teaching slowly to avoid injuries. Well, it's a long process. First they're taught to pull their leg backwards. Like this. Then, voila, we're bending their leg. Then we add the second leg, then put their head here, bending down like this, and after that we turn, yes, their head, moving their center of gravity to the side and back. They need to roll not over their shoulder, but over their haunches. That means they must... Yes, their haunches, and then make a soft bow. Dosia, enough gobbling up all the grass. I understand, of course, it's tasty. Well...
Can I try?
You can try performing a bow.
A bow, yeah?
Yes, take
Like
the
this?
riding crop. You will have to tap the riding crop standing in front of him.
Right here?
Yeah, in front of him. Yeah, and tap the ground in front of him with the riding crop. Right? Yes. Tap, bow. Bow. Now he hasn't done anything yet. Bow, tap, bow. Go. Bow. No, you don't hit, just tap. If he doesn't look like he doesn't want, you must draw the legs up. Oh, good.
You're such a good boy. So good. Do you want this?
Well...
Beauty requires sacrifices. Well done. Take this. I braided this snack for you. Well, now I can go work as a stunt performer. I've been taught very well.
The main stunts that are common in the movies are falling, what we have just seen, hanging off, when the rider hangs in the stirrups, and tripping, when the horse falls head over heels, throwing the rider forward.
Are you okay? Is everything okay? Did you hurt yourself? Really? Are you sure?
Oh,
You're so...
it's all fine.
It was so scary.
Did I scare you?
I basically, I wasn't just scared. I don't know. I got a little nervous.
The fallen stunt actor is holding a braking line in his hand. It is fastened to his leg and goes for the stirrup. At a necessary moment, the actor lets go of the loop and is dragged after the horse for a while. Then he unfastens himself. It's just another trick, but it's much more complicated than a fall. It takes over a month for a horse to learn this trick. First, a sack with something heavy and of a comparable weight is dragged behind the horse instead of the stunt performer, to see how it will behave. Sometimes it can kick it with their hoof. If a horse reacts calmly, a human's turn comes. Stunt actors are required to wear protective gear while performing this trick, in case they hurt themselves.
Oh, I was so scared. It was terrible.
Well,
What's that? You should have somehow, sent me a signal in case I got nervous. Let me help you stand up. I'm still worried. I'm still worried about you.
Thank you.
Maybe, do you want me to take you on my shoulders?
No thanks. unlike steeplechase and racing, people haven't raised special breeds for cinema stunts. So only draft horses aren't fit for stunt performance. Falling is uncomfortable for them, they're too massive. More dangerous tricks, like a trip, can easily result in a lethal outcome for a draft horse. That's why cinema studios have long since prohibited them. And once upon a time, 50 years ago, in the famous westerns about brave cowboys, like John Sturgis's Magnificent Seven, there were several hundred complicated tricks. But then in Spielberg's War Horse, there's only one real shot when a horse stands up on its hind legs. Everything else is brilliantly reproduced by a computer. However, few people living today have seen actual real-life cavalry maneuvers and wouldn't be able to notice the substitution. Makeup, wigs, costumes. Both humans and horses have to look appropriate for the time period in the movies. A four-legged actress must have the correct saddle and historical head harness. It seems as if nothing has changed in 100 years, but even in the 19th century, women rode in a completely different way from how they do it nowadays. And riding a horse with such a saddle differed drastically from riding on a man's horseback saddle. The female rider's legs didn't straddle the horse's body, they both remained on the left side. It's curious that horses were specially trained for such a setup.
A cavalier's help is needed. Cavalier! Right leg.
Right leg.
Right leg, no, not into the stirrup. The cavalier helps her with his hands and pushes up.
Okay, like that, with your
like
back.
Like that, with your back. Right here first, and?
I didn't sit right.
Then toss your leg.
Toss it over?
Right here, and right
No,
there.
right
Put
here.
The leg in the stirrup this way.
Here and this way.
And this one hand by the handle, like this.
It was considered unfit for a real lady to ride using the men's method. Riding this way in a magnificent dress was much more convenient.
And you would have to control a horse like that.
And you have a riding crop in your hand.
With the help of the leg, which is on the horse's left side, and the right crop, which is on the right.
Wow.
The horse must be brought to a light gallop at once. And there's almost no shaking of a female rider while trotting.
Great.
Or walk. So? Do you feel like you're in Gone with the Wind?
I basically feel like a beauty on a horse. A princess, or even better, an Amazonian.
Well, actually, women in the Amazon rode like men.
Ladies' saddles went out of fashion rapidly after World War II. Emancipated women required equal rights in equestrian sports. What came into fashion were women's trousers and breeches, which were more convenient and practical for sitting on a man's saddle. But of course, some stunts have largely remained in men's domain. The word cowboy is far better known worldwide than cowgirl.
Carrying around feed was much better known by real cowboys when dancing in a saloon or shooting from horseback. The reason for that archetype is that cowboys have their own mythology from Hollywood. But cowboys were not brutal, unbridled macho men. They were cattle herders. They were hired for 2 months a year to lead herds of cattle from the fertile West into the industrial East of the United States. Therefore, what could cowboys do best of all? Ride horses. Although many of them didn't even have their own. At best, they brought their own saddles with them. They had up to 6 backup horses on rotation during their voyage. These horses were trained to be able to drive a herd so that if an ox was caught by a lasso and tied to the saddle horn, the ox would freeze on the spot when the horse lowered its haunches. Those horses could maneuver and were not afraid to ford rivers or go up and down slopes. So cowboys taught horses all the fantastic skills which we now utilize in the Western riding style. If the reins fall to the ground, the cowboy's horse knows it should freeze right where it stands. Cowboys rode with 2 separate reins in their hands. and controlled the horse with one hand touching its neck with the reins from the other side. They could change directions with only light touches. Nowadays, this tradition has taken shape in the wonderful sport called trail riding, where a rider of practically any horse, regardless of its breed, age, or athletic quality, demonstrates its readiness to overcome any obstacle, to cross a bridge, to open or close a gate, to tolerate the fact that the rider is putting on a raincoat or pulls up some luggage behind. The true cowboy's skill are kept alive in those kind of events.